Hello everyone, this is David here in San Francisco. I'm going to share with you today how I made a traditional Scottish dish, one of our favorite dishes that we're going to serve on our anniversary dinner tonight. It basically consists of a pound of steak, 2 onions cut up, steel cut oats. It's a traditional Scottish oat. Basically, you can find it usually in a health food store. Occasionally you can find it in a regular grocery store. We cut up the meat and we're going to mince it all the way up into small tiny pieces, as you can see there. And the onion should be pretty finely diced. Some of the other ingredients we're going to need is vinegar, some oil. Now with the vinegar, I tend to go outside of the recipe's normal requirements. They ask for half a tablespoon of vinegar. Well, I add about 3 tablespoons of vinegar. One other little tip that I like to do is make sure the steaks are just partially frozen. It makes them slicing a lot easier. When the oil is good and hot, which is 2 tablespoons of oil in the bottom of the pan, I usually throw in 2 onions to see when it's ready and it cooks there. I just take the rest of the onions here, big whole 2 onions worth of stuff. Sit and simmer till it turns golden brown. I tend to put it on a lower heat because I don't want to actually singe the edges of the onions. I want them to get really soft, and I usually give them quite a amount of time. It's well over 10 minutes that I usually let the onions cook. The part I'm going to do here is the other part of this traditional Scottish Callops and Tatties is the tatties. Tatties are basically mashed potatoes usually with cabbage and onions in it, but since we have kids, we're not going to do the cabbage and onions. We're just going to do mashed potatoes with cheese melted on top. Because I think we'll go ahead and put the Callops and Tatties into the oven here, and about 350 degrees, because basically I just need to warm up the mashed potatoes, which I cooked earlier, and melt the cheese. Now golden brown. This is the point at which we're going to put in the minced meat into the mixture. So now that we've got the meat in here, I'm going to cook it till it's brown in about 10-15 minutes, and you want to cook it over low heat. On mine here, I'm doing it between 2 and 3 until it's fully browned up.
Well, Julia Child here. We are now at the critical phase of this recipe. If you look into the pan, you'll see the liquid is all gone at this point, and we're going to add the water. And we'll bring it to a full boil, but in the meantime, I'm missing an ingredient. Oh, here it is.
Now this is the steel cut oats, and we're going to pour that into the mixture. And then we're going to go over to the vinegar and add, as my secret recipe has said, more vinegar than the recipe calls for. You'll see here now that this is thickened up into a lot more of a saucy look, and you can see it's starting to thicken up. We're going to thicken it a little bit more so it's not liquid at all. Once it's become very thick and pasty, that's when the recipe will be done. Here's our callops, and there's our tatties, and this is served traditionally with 2 slices of toast in half. They call them triangle squares toast. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you next time on Cooking More Scottish Food.